Hi, my name's Katie, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be doing a full face using my favourite drugstore makeup products, the best of the drugstore in my opinion anyway. So we'll start with our eyes. When it comes to like priming my eyes, honestly I just use anything. It doesn't have to be good. I will just put any old concealer, any old powder on my eyelids because I prefer to use the concealers that I actually like on my face. I mean, when it comes to a base for eyeshadow, I just want something that's, is a base for eyeshadow. It doesn't have to be like immaculate coverage or anything like that. So with that in mind, I'm literally just going to grab the first thing that's in the makeup drawers in front of me. I'm going to use the Makeup Obsession Mega Concealer in 03. I think this should work pretty well to prime my eyes. I will just smother a load of this on my eyelids. I'm going to say 85% of my makeup collection is probably drugstore makeup products. I definitely gravitate more towards drugstore makeup than high-end makeup, although I feel like in the recent years I have bought more high-end makeup just because I've been able to afford it more. Definitely loads of high-end products I really like, but I would say at heart I am a drugstore person. That's the life I am about. So obviously I just thought this video would be good to kind of show you what my actual favourite drugstore products are in each category. I don't know about you, but I personally love watching like favourites videos of like people when they recommend like their favourite drugstore foundations or concealers or eyeshadows or whatever category it is. I really like watching those videos because I think like all YouTubers have like different like opinions on what is the best out there in terms of drugstore makeup. So I find it really interesting to hear like people's different opinions and also to kind of discover new products that you might not necessarily have wanted to try or even have heard of. And again, any old powder, this one is in front of me, Technic Superfine Translucent Powder. I'll just use that to set that concealer down. Because I've not practiced this eyeshadow look, I'm just going to do one eye off camera and then come back and show you what I did on the other eye. I know loads of YouTubers do this and I kind of want to start doing this because I find, especially in first impressions, my eye makeup never turns out like the way I want it to. I never feel like I get a nice look that I'm proud of, so I feel like if I do it this way I hopefully should be able to get an eye look that I'm like more satisfied with. But before I do that, I will tell you the eyeshadow palette that I'm going to use. Drugstore eyeshadows, I've got loads of them and I love loads of them. I'm going to put a card up here for the video I made in January where I talked about my favourite eyeshadow palettes from last year. Every single eyeshadow product that I mentioned in that video was either drugstore or affordable makeup, so obviously that's a list of some of my favourite drugstore / affordable eyeshadow palettes. But in this video I've got something new here. I got this in March, so end of April when I'm filming this, so a very recent find for me. This is the Revolution Shook eyeshadow palette, which I don't feel like this has gotten a lot of love. I feel like it deserves some more love. This is definitely one of the best first of all drugstore eyeshadow palettes I've found, as well as Revolution eyeshadow palettes I've found. Another one of my favourite Revolution eyeshadow palettes would be the Neutrals versus Neutrals palette, which is quite old now, but I've still got mine in my collection. That is also one of my favourites if you're into like warm tones. That's just like your kind of essential eyeshadow palette. Love that one. But yeah, this was a recent discovery for me. First of all, you've got an amazing selection of colours. All the ones that I've tried in this so far are super pigmented, super blendable. I actually just think this is an amazing palette. When I got it, it was £10. I think it may have gone back up to £15 now. So I mean, it's not super duper cheap, but considering like how big it is and like the amount of eyeshadows that you get in it, like I feel like the price is sort of justifiable. It's definitely still nowhere near as expensive as like high-end eyeshadows, definitely not. So yeah, as I said, gonna go off camera, do one eye, and then show you what I did, and hopefully I'm not gonna be happy with this eyeshadow look, who knows. Right, so I've managed to do some eyeshadow, so let's see if I can replicate this. I started with this neutral transition shade called Compliment at the top here. It's just kind of like a peachy brownie sort of shade, and I just started by just popping a bit of that above the crease just to start with. I'm using this deeper brown shade called Ambition here, and I'm just taking a more kind of like pointed sort of brush. I'm gonna sort of, I don't know how to explain this really. I'm going to like sort of carve out under where I put that transition shade and kind of like wing it a bit. Hopefully you'll see what I'm doing. And now above where I've placed that, I'm going to use this shade called Shucks. It's sort of like a kind of taupey / purple / brownie kind of colour. I'm going to go back to my fluffy brush and sort of blend and diffuse that out. If we can get this anything like the other eye, that will be an achievement. I'm going back in with that Makeup Obsession concealer, and I'm going to use this to carve out my crease. Okay, so right in the inner part of my eye, on that cut crease, I'm going to use the shade Rumour, which is like a kind of rose gold sort of shimmer shade. I'm just placing that in the inner part. Then more in the centre, I'm going in with this bright blue, bluey green shimmer called Aquatic. This one here, do you want to focus on that? And that one's going to go in the centre. Then in the outer part, I'm going to use this shade called Leaf It Out, which is like a kind of dark greeny, shimmery colour. That one's going to go in the outer part of the cut crease. Right, and then just using a wipe, I'm gonna just like get rid of that mess at the end, like sharpen it up so it's like this one. I feel like they don't really look remotely symmetrical, but under my brow bone I'm gonna go with this white glimmery shade called Winter and just putting that under my brow. Now I'm gonna use this purple shimmer called Fanatic, this one here, and again, I'm going back to this kind of pointed brush and I'm placing this just kind of where the like crease part is. Mostly in the inner part, but I'm going to slightly kind of fade it out, I guess. I'm going to go back in with the transition shades that I used earlier and try and blend this. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you, the symmetry is not on point. Let me see if I can fix it. Yeah, I think the one disadvantage of doing one eye off camera and one eye on camera is the symmetry, because they're not symmetrical, but I mean, just can't win really, I just can't win. Hopefully you can see how pigmented and amazing the eyeshadows are in this palette, because I think that they're really good. I'm next going to put some eyeliner in my waterline. My favourite thing at the moment from the drugstore, this is a recent find for me, it would be the Sleek Waterliner. It's just called the Sleek Intense Waterliner. It is basically just like a black eyeliner pencil. It's super creamy and it's super pigmented and it stays on my eyes, like it doesn't come off by the end of the day. It's amazing. I don't know what's happened to my lid though. It's gone bent and I don't know why. I'm going to put a card up here where I talk about other eyeliners from the drugstore I really like. There's a really cheap one off Amazon that's $1.99. That's like incredible. That's also one of my favourites. The Gosh Ultimate eyeliner. It's like a twisty up one. I really like that one. Yeah, there's quite a lot of drugstore eyeliner pencils that I really like. The main thing that I want it to do is to look dramatic, be creamy and smooth, and not come off by the end of the day. This Sleek one's definitely great at that. I'm just going to put this in my top and bottom waterlines. Right, so we'll move on to some mascara now. I feel like most of my favourite drugstore mascaras have not got on me currently, so some examples I can think of: the L'Oreal Unlimited, the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, the L'Oreal Telescopic. I like a lot of L'Oreal mascaras. Those three are really great drugstore mascaras. The Collection Lash Surge mascara is also incredible. I really want to pick up another one of those soon. I think I'll use this one just because I've got it on me at the moment. I do really like this mascara. I mean, I would consider this a drugstore favourite. I'm worried that this is kind of starting to dry out a little bit now, but we'll see if we can get it to work. But this is the Body Shop Lash Hero Fibre Extensions Mascara. I mean, I consider the Body Shop to be drugstore. I feel like it's affordable. It's definitely not super cheap, but I mean, I still feel like it falls in the affordable category. But yeah, this is a double-ended one with a mascara and fibres on it. Obviously, I've not got any of those other ones on me at the moment, but this is absolutely a great mascara. I'm just worried that it's a little bit dried up. I think we'll make it work, we'll make it work. I've also been quite liking this Rebel Eyes by Gosh recently. I picked that up in my last first impressions. If this Body Shop one's too dried out, I may have to switch to that. I think it'll do. Gosh Lash Sculpting Mascara is also really good, as well as the Wet n Wild Fibre Mascara Kit. I also really like that one. I also quite like the Revolution Mascara. That one's quite good. I feel like when it comes to mascaras, I very rarely want to buy a high-end mascara, just because I feel like there's such a fast use product. Like, they dry out like after a month or 2 months maybe at most, so you don't really get the longest amount of time with mascaras. I think the only high-end mascara I've tried the Bad Girl Bang by Benefit, which to be fair I thought was really good, but again it didn't last me very long. Like, I don't even think I got to use it on my channel. Like, I only like used it for about a month before it started to kind of dry up. And I've tried little sample sizes of the Too Faced Better Than Sex, and I think, yeah, I mean, they're pretty decent. Again, I don't think I'd buy a full size. I'd stick with sample sizes for that, but I guess Douce counts as a high-end brand. I've gotten their mascaras in cohort beauty boxes, and I really liked both of the two that we got. But yeah, I feel like generally when it comes to mascaras, I'm all about the Drugstore, definitely. Actually, L'Oreal just kills it with mascaras. Obviously this Body Shop mascara still looks pretty good now, but it looks amazing when it's in its prime. But I mean, it still looks pretty good even though it's starting to dry up. I'm just going to top it up a little bit with this Gosh Rebel Eyes, just because I've got it open and on me at the moment. That's the annoying thing. I found a lot of really good drugstore mascaras, but then I don't want to like rebuy old ones because I'm always wanting to try new mascaras and find new favourites. So it's just finding the actual time when I do want to repurchase the old ones that I already know that I love. Primer. I mean, I've never been like a massive primer person. One primer that comes to mind from the drugstore that I do quite like is the NYX Honeydew Primer. Let me go find it. Yeah, this little guy here. I like it because it just reminds me of like honey, and I feel like I'm putting like honey on my face, which I like. Quite sticky and like glowy, but I kind of think that's good because I feel like it's giving your makeup something to stick to. So, oh god, it's going everywhere. That is the one thing with this primer, it does go everywhere. It also smells amazing though. I think this is my favourite drugstore foundation. I think. If I'm honest, I've still not found a foundation that like I'm absolutely in love with. But this one is close. So this is the Maybelline Superstay 24-hour full coverage foundation. This one is getting very old now. It might be a bit too old. It's definitely over a year old. Mine's in the light shade True Ivory. I did look recently to see if they had added any new shades, but by the looks of it, no. True Ivory is still the light shade. Hopefully they will expand this one because I know that their Fit Me has like a really good shade range, and hopefully they can expand it to this one because I feel like this is their most popular foundation anyway. Like, I feel more people talk about the Superstay than talk about the Fit Me. Like, I don't know about you, I feel like that's the truth. This has amazing coverage. It lasts really well. I found better wearing foundations, but it does last really well. And it has a nice finish. It is just it's a pretty decent foundation, really. There's not much bad things I can say about it. I will say one bad thing about it. It does oxidize, so I do still have to put in a bit of a white mixer with this one. So some other drugstore foundations that I really like. Best wearing foundations I've ever found are from the drugstore. They're from W7. So It's a Matte Made in Heaven, as well as the Singing in the Rain foundation. Have both got amazing wear. Like, the best wearing foundations, drugstore, high-end, full stop, that I've found are those two W7 ones. So they are, I pretty much wear them like every time where I know I've got a long day, or if I'm going on a night out or anything like that, I will often reach for these guys. Again, only issue with these is that I do need a white mixer, or sometimes, well, what I used to do is mix them with my NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop and Pale, but this doesn't want to work anymore. Like, no product, I can't get any product to come out of it, and I've tried to take the lid off and I can't do it. I don't really love the NYX one on its own, but I do love it mixed in with foundation, so I wouldn't consider this a favourite drugstore foundation. Some other drugstore foundations I really like, the Wet n Wild one. I'm just going to mix my Maybelline Superstay with a bit of my Nip and Fab white foundation mixer. This is definitely one of my favourite white foundation mixers. All of my favourite foundation mixers are from the drugstore actually, so this one from Nip and Fab, the Gosh ones are really good. The LA Girl Pro Coverage Foundation in white, really good white mixer, as well as the NYX Pro Mixer. Those are my favourite ones, and they're all drugstore ones. I do need to kind of rebuy this Maybelline foundation. See, I don't want to rebuy it just in case they like expand the shade range soon, because I've got a feeling that they might, just because a lot of brands have been doing that lately, and like as I said, their Fit Me has got quite a good shade range, so it just baffles me because this one is definitely the more popular foundation. Okay, we got a mix. Let's do this. That's that foundation on. I love it. It's great. It looks smooth. It's got the coverage. It's got really good coverage. It's like high, medium, low foil coverage in my humble opinion. So moving on to concealers now. If I'm being honest, concealer is probably the one makeup item that I do gravitate more towards high-end products. Like I just feel like I don't know why. It doesn't really make sense, but I get the urge to buy lots of high-end concealers. The ones that I'm going to use today, this is what I'd probably say is my favourite drugstore concealer at the moment, is the Barry M All Night Long Full Coverage Concealer. Mine is in the shade Milk, which is the lighter shade. I've actually got two because this is my old one and I bought a new one like last month. See, I brought it again. If I buy something twice, that's when you know I like it. Shade I feel like is slightly lighter than my skin tone, which is always nice to find. This has got really nice coverage. It also looks really smooth on the face and it doesn't look heavy or crepey, and obviously it's super affordable. I love this. Some other drugstore concealers that I really like. I mean it's a classic, but the collection Lasting Perfection, really good. Obviously the Revolution Concealer and Define, really good concealer. The Maybelline one, so there's the Fit Me and the Age Rewind one, quite like those. But I would say my favourite out of all of them has got to be this Barry M one. Yeah, so this is like £4, so I would recommend getting it. The only issue is I don't think they have a great shade range in these, so even though obviously I've got a shade that works for me, I don't think everyone is going to be able to find one, so that really sucks. So I'm just going to pop some of this on under my eyes, on my nose and around blemishes on my face. Okay, so for setting powder, I've tried so many damn setting powders from the drugstore. I've yet to find a setting powder that I adore and looks amazing and flawless on me. Everything looks awful on me. I say one of the best affordable ones that I have on me at the moment would be this one from Belle. This is the Belle Hypoallergenic Fixing Matte Powder. It is just a pressed translucent powder. I do really like this. The only issue I've had with this is sometimes, I found this with a lot of powders, sometimes they'll go really weird under the eyes when I've got like, obviously I put foundation and concealer on. It's almost like because there's so much product there that they sort of like, it kind of, the powder, like it kind of separates. I don't know how to explain it, but even powders that I sort of like, it sometimes does this, so I don't know if it's going to do it today, but if it does, I'll show you what I mean. It's a pretty good powder. It sets your face, it's quite lightweight, it doesn't feel too heavy or cakey, and the finish is pretty nice, so yeah, and it's super cheap as well. So I'm just going to use this powder to set my entire face. Moving on to bronzer, I've got absolutely tons of drugstore bronzers that I love. Recent tries, the Body Shop bronzer in the lightest shade is really good. The MUA, the new bronzers they brought out a few months ago, really good. The shade I have is 100 Solar, I think. Love that. Belle Hypoallergenic bronzer is fantastic. This new Revolution bronzer, the Bronzer Reloaded in the shade Holiday Romance. Another fantastic bronzer. The number 7 bronzer in Golden Sand. Also fantastic. And there's probably loads I'm forgetting to mention, but the one that I'm going to use today is not technically a bronzer, but this is the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Powder. Obviously this is meant as a setting powder, it comes in loads of different shades, but the shade that I've got here is Golden Beige 3D, and that's what the shade looks like there. Obviously this is meant for a setting powder for people with this sort of skin tone, but on me, this works perfectly as a bronzer. It's the perfect shade for me. It's just kind of like a goldeny, very caramelly sort of colour. And obviously because it's a setting powder, it's quite like natural and very easy to blend out. So that's another thing I love about this, because I obviously want my bronzers, I personally want my bronzers to look a bit more natural and be very blendable. That's exactly what I want. I don't like bronzers to look too harsh, so that's why kind of using a setting powder as a bronzer often works quite well for me. So I'm just going to use this L'Oreal powder to warm up my face. And again, when it comes to drugstore highlight, I have bloody loads I love. The one that I'm going to use today is another Bell hypoallergenic product. This is a face and body illuminating powder in Cool 01, and this is stunning. Kind of like a sort of champagne-y, kind of beigey kind of toned highlighter colour. I mean, I hit pan on it, so you can tell that I like it. I use this a lot. It just looks like a second skin. It's just so gorgeous. There's no like harsh kind of stripe to it, but it's also got an amazing amount of pigment and like glow to it. It looks stunning, but then like it doesn't look too harsh either. It's quite natural but there, like it is present. Some other drugstore highlighters that I love. First of all, the BH Cosmetics Blacklight Highlighter Palette is one of my absolute favourites. The Revolution Pro Trios, I can't remember what the name of my shade is, but those like trios are amazing. They're so pigmented. The Milani Afterglow Highlighter, love that one. The Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighter, love that one. Some highlights that I've recently tried that I really like, another Revolution product, the Highlighter Reloaded in Set the Tone. Also, these ones from Technic are amazing, so underrated. They're the Get Gorgeous highlighters. I've got bloody tons of shades of these. But I've got Virtuoso, and then I've got Galaxy Girl is the other shade I've got. It's like a silvery one, and then I've got like a more lilac-y one. These are bloody insane. They're so pigmented, and they're like £3. Favourite drugstore brow product is actually High End. So we won't talk about her, but you know who she is. See, I was going to use this because this probably would be my favourite drugstore eyebrow gel. It's the New Look Brush on Brows Fibre Gel, but I've got a feeling that this is discontinued and it's not going to be made anymore, so that's a bit disappointing. I feel like I should use something else instead. In fact, I will use another recent find for me. This is the Collection Fast Brow Tinted Brow Gel, and wasn't expecting to like this as much as I do, but it's actually really good. What I like to do with this one, so first I just brush through my brows with like a dry spoolie. Then what I like to do with this, so it comes like this. So it's basically got like a doe foot on it, and what I do is I just get my like eyebrow brush and basically just, you know, kind of dab it from that, get off any excess in the back of my hand, which obviously I can use to dip into later, and then I kind of just basically brush on my brows. And what I really like about this gel is it's quite natural in formula. It's not too splodgy, it's not too thick, it's not too opaque, it's just very natural, which is exactly what I want from a gel product. Obviously I'm used to kind of applying gels with like a spoolie straight from the lid, but I find that this works too, and it doesn't really take that much more time than if it was just like the spoolie attached to the brush like I thought that it would, but it doesn't really. I quite like this application method. Just to give them a little bit more definition, my favourite micro brow pencil from the drugstore has definitely got to be BH Cosmetics Studio Pro Shape and Define Duo Brow Pencil. Mine is in the shade Emily. I don't really use the like arched end, I just use the micro brow end. I love this. The colour's great, it's just so smooth, and it just gives me that bit of precision that I want to just fill in any more kind of, you know, sparse areas. It's just a foolproof brow pencil. Again, I'm just using this to just to find anything I want to find a little bit more. Again, there's quite a few drugstore micro brow pencils I really like. The Kiko Skiddy brow pencil is a really good one. H&M brow pencil, also the H&M brow gel is really good too. But this one's just my fave because I feel this one's just like the smoothest. Right, so on my lower lash line, I'm going back to the Shook eyeshadow palette. I'm going to go gold. I'm going to go with this gold shade called Cheers, and I don't actually know what the hell I'm doing. Let's just smother a load of this under here, just using that pointy brush again. I'm going to blend in this shade called Vixen, which is kind of like a coppery sort of metallic shade. I'm going to blend a bit of that into the gold as well. I'm then going to use my Bell Hypoallergenic powder in my inner corner and a bit under my brow bone. Right, then I'm going to go back in with Body Shop Mascara and probably a bit of Rebel Eyes by Gosh on my lower lashes. Okay, so lips. I would say the lip product from the drugstore that I've been using the most is it's a Kiko lipstick from the Sparkling Holiday collection, but I'm not gonna even like go into that because I think it's discontinued. I don't think you can get it anymore. But that was a beautiful lipstick. So would like to try some more Kiko like matte bullet lips. I think I'm gonna mix these two together because I quite like both of them. These are the NYX Suede matte lipsticks I tried recently. So I've got Munchies and Dainty Days here. So one's a like greigey kind of nudie colour, and then the other one's more pinky. I think I might go in with Munchies. These are really creamy, which I like about them. And I think I'll layer on a bit Dainty over the top. Just not really been reaching for liquid lipsticks that much lately, so that's why I'm sticking with bullets. And I'm just going to put a bit of Dainty Days in the centre. I think that's everything on. I'm just gonna clean up any mascara mess and sort my hair out. Be right back. Okay, so we are back with the finished look. This is my full face using my favourite drugstore makeup products, and I would say I'm pretty happy with it. I feel like everything looks decent. The only thing that I feel like I fucked up is the symmetry of my eyeshadow. Everything else I'm happy with. I like my brows, I like my base, I like my lips. So I hope you liked my makeup look, and I hope you liked hearing about my favourite affordable makeup products. And I'm sure there's plenty more to discover on my makeup journey. That's it for this video, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.